I think the live shows, because in the north of England there was a very vibrant scene. It helps by having a really killer nightclub called the Frog and Toad. Everybody went there. So many bands formed from meeting like-minded people at this club. It was amazing. Paradise Lost formed there. We formed there. Anathema formed there. I don't know, because there used to be. It was such a great club. There were coach trips from around the UK to this nightclub. It was incredible. A 2-story place. And it's where I got introduced to the likes of Bathory and Slayer, because the DJ would play extreme music up till midnight. Well, 2 minutes to midnight. Then he'd play 2 minutes to midnight by Iron Maiden every bloody Saturday night. But before that, it was the most extreme music. To me, back then, Motorhead were as extreme as metal got, because that's all I was exposed to through the magazines I bought and the Friday Night Rock show that I used to listen to. Then when I went to the Frog and Toad and it's Bathory and Slayer, it's like, what is this? I love it. It was the most extreme thing I'd ever heard, and I was hooked immediately. And then you see people, because they've all got different shirts on. He's got a Bathory shirt, he's got a Bathory. I'm going to go and talk to him because we both like Bathory, clearly. And you just talk to people. And friendships, lifelong friendships were made there. And we all sort of got together one Saturday night after a few beers, and we said, let's get together tomorrow morning. There's a studio in Bradford. Let's hire it out and we'll just make a racket and see what happens. And My Dying Bride was formed the next day. And then, amazingly, back then, there was quite a few little clubs where you could easily book them out yourself. It's £50 for the PA, £25 for the lights, and then you charge what you want on the door and sell your own T-shirts. And so we'd get together with Paradise Lost and Cathedral and Pitch Shifter and Anathema, and and again, this was pre-internet, so you'd ring these guys up and you'd say, what about in 4 weeks' time, we'll play the Queen's Hall Cellar Bar in Bradford. We'd always argue about who's headlining, so we'll just put bands' names on the £2 entry ticket. And then we'd go out at night time, just fly posting on shop windows and stuff. It was just, we'd get a bucket of wallpaper paste, 50 A4 photocopies, and you just, phone boxes, stick them on there. The Saturday of the gig, or the next Friday night of the gig, was packed. And you charge £2 to get people through the door, because you never make money on that. That might pay for the PA and the lights at the end of the day. And then you just make money selling a few T-shirts, £5 a T-shirt, because they cost you £3 to make. And it was brilliant. And the stage diving and mosh pits and absolute mayhem, because there's no bouncers. There's just like-minded bands and like-minded people, because we didn't have fans back then. It was just people who had sort of maybe heard of the bands and wanted to get involved. The place was packed. And the scene was so vibrant, as I said, it was around the birth of death metal as well. So everybody wanted a piece of the action. And it was just that part of the world was alive back in the sort of mid to late 80s. And we said, we want a piece of this. So we formed My Dying Bride, and it just worked overnight. We never looked back. That Saturday night, Sunday morning, boom, the band had formed. It's great.
When we sort of established MDB and did a demo in 1991, that kind of thing, we didn't really fully appreciate. Looking back, we can see the impact of and see the scene. Obviously, everyone's got 20/20 hindsight, and it was massive. But we were sat right in the centre, so we couldn't really see it. And we were only talking about this the other night. Bradford, strangely enough, for reasons that are baffling even to those that lived it, that were there and lived there, was just a heavy metal hub. Bands that would fly in from God knows where, even the States, would always hit Bradford. One in Scotland, Bradford, London.
You'd get Deicide showing up, and
it was just
we were crazy bands.
It was
Morbid Angel were there, and
everybody. Death Angel came, Dark Angel came, the whole shooting match, and there was no one missed Bradford. It was just, and I could walk to the venue for where I lived, and walk home again. It was just an amazing time that we didn't realise how lucky we were to be sat right in the centre of all of this.
And yet there's places like in New York City, which are famed for, the birth of certain movements of music. People are CBGBs, it was the place to go. No one mentions Bradford, but it was the place to go in the UK. London was fine, it did its own thing. But outside of London, like I say, everybody called in at Bradford because it is a massive conurbation with, Yorkshire touches upon Lancashire and Manchester. It's just, there's a lot of people in that area, and when a band came, everybody went, and the gigs were packed. And again, security, they weren't that bothered about stage diving, and when you knew you could get away with stage diving, everybody was on stage, and the bands loved it because it's a sign of enthusiasm, and it's a sign that you're almost, if you're stage diving, you're in the moment and you're absolutely loving what's happening right now. And the scene was so vibrant. It was up there with your CBGBs and places like that, but it just never got the fame it really deserved, but it was just incredible.